Grace.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Hi, I'm Izzy.
Hi, I'm Zoe.
Hi, I'm Maya.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming to my talk today on colorblind casting. Colorblind casting has always been highly debated in the arts community, and I hope to address some of the issues today and give my perspective on why colorblind casting is very negative and has negative effects on the arts community. For one, it could lead to unintentional racism. This would mean, for example, that there was a theater company in Oregon that was putting on a production of Edward Albee's, who was afraid of Virginia Woolf, and they had cast a black actor in the role of Nick. In the original play, Nick is said to be blonde-haired, blue-eyed, and Caucasian, and the Albee estate did not allow the Oregon Theater Company to put on this production. For obvious reasons, this could be seen as a racist occurrence. Another similar occurrence is when Samuel Beckett's play, The Endgame, at the American Repertory Theater, cast a black father and a black son, but a white mother. In the play, they were cast all across the board as white, and adding a mixed-race couple into the play would cause issues that weren't written in, and during the time period that the play was set, would have caused an uproar in the 50s as well. So it adds in other elements that weren't intentional into the writing. Another more recent occurrence is in Natasha Pierre in The Great Comet of 1812 by Dave Malloy. When it was on off-Broadway, Dave Malloy, the writer and white man who was the composer of the show, also played the titular role of Pierre. When it went to Broadway, Josh Groban, another white actor and white vocalist, went on to play Pierre in the Broadway production. After Josh Groban left the show, the role was taken over by Okoret Awendawen, who is also called Oak and is most famous for his role in Hamilton, and so he is a black actor, was given the role. Unfortunately, ticket sales were dwindling after that, and they were going to have Mandy Patinkin come in on a short stint to help boost ticket sales. Unfortunately, it never got to that point because they saw as a white actor replacing a black actor rather than an actor replacing another actor in order to boost ticket sales for the company. Unfortunately, because of riots, due to what people viewed as a racist move, the show closed. For my second point, directors can use colorblind casting in order to cast white people in roles that were originally and traditionally meant for people of color. One very prevalent example of this is the King of Siam in The King and I. For many, many years was always cast as a white actor, and that led to other productions doing the same. For example, in the most recent production of Miss Saigon on Broadway by Cameron Mackintosh, the role of the engineer, which has always been played by an Asian actor, was played and cast as a white actor in the original Broadway cast. The Actors Equity Association obviously found issues with this and told Mackintosh that he had to rescind his casting. Mackintosh threw a fit and said that the show would close if he didn't get the actor he wanted. The show went on, but after this white actor played the role, an Asian actor filled in furthermore after, but it doesn't correct the fact that Mackintosh made the decision initially to cast a white actor in this role. It is even seen on a broader spectrum in the media, for example in movies. In the 1956 movie The Conqueror, John Wayne plays Genghis Khan, who is Mongol, and John Wayne is not of Mongolian heritage. Another more relevant example, in 2007, Angelina Jolie played Marianne Hart in a movie, A Mighty Heart, she was a real-life journalist. The movie was based on her life with her husband after he was murdered. And Marianne is originally of French and Afro-Cuban descent. Angelina Jolie is neither. She is not of Afro-Cuban descent and does not have dark curly hair or brown eyes, as the role entails. Another local example of this actually happened 2 years ago at Ithaca High School's theater. They decided to do a production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the actress they cast as Esmeralda was a white girl, and the role of Esmeralda is normally portrayed in the movies and in the regional productions of The Hunchback of Notre Dame by a person of color, and students saw this as a major issue and thought that if the casting panel wanted to cast this actress in a leading role, that they should have chosen a show more appropriate to suit what they felt the casting should be. Additionally, colorblind casting causes a lot of issues in show productions. I feel that colorblind casting is somewhat of a cover-up to not produce shows by people of color and to give them a voice. August Wilson called colorblind casting a band-aid, and in fact there is not enough information and data to prove that colorblind casting is beneficial enough to the arts community that it should be considered a positive thing. For example, for 73 years, the Tony Awards, the theater awards have been going on. Over those 73 years, they have ranged from 11 to 26 categories. Throughout those years, in all of the categories, there have only been 47 Black winners and 14 Asian winners. Additionally, an Asian American actor named Poon Banhu founded the Asian American Performance Action Coalition because the Broadway League did not provide a track record of racial identity throughout Broadway shows in history. So most recently, they have found between 2008 and 2015, nearly 75 to 80% of actors on Broadway have been white. And in non-traditional casting circumstances, in 2012, 102 of the 835 actors on Broadway were cast non-traditionally. That's 12%. And most recently, they found in 2015, 38 of the 642 actors, that is under 6% of the actors were cast non-traditionally, which means that using colorblind casting as an excuse to say that you're being inclusive clearly isn't being inclusive. It's just making a blanket statement to put a band-aid on not giving people of color the voices that they had deserved for so long. It's an excuse to keep producing the same shows that have been produced for 50 years and forcing actors of color into voices that aren't their own. Thank you all.